Talk about the family a little bit. My son's in the other combine.
Okay.
My dad's in one of the semis.
Right.
My cousin's in the grain cart. My brother-in-law's in the other truck. My sister's probably bringing lunch out tonight. My wife is working, but she'll be out later tonight. She does the books, and she also works in town for Mount Marty College. My other son is at Mount Marty College down in Yankton right now.
Yep.
But you know, his dreams are to end up back on the farm someday also. So we're in expansion mode right now, trying to get the operation big enough to support what hopefully someday will be 3 families. I have a daughter that's in high school yet, freshman in high school. She doesn't know where the farm is. We got pretty dry in July and August.
Yep.
We took the top end off our yields. We had some good rain in August, and we were able to pull off a pretty good bean crop. I mean, a lot better than what we ever dreamed of. I think our bean crop is going to end up above APH, and our corn crop will be pretty close to APH, maybe a skosh above, but maybe a little below too. Soybeans are either side of $12 right now. We did a pretty good job hedging this year. We're probably 50 to 75% hedged.
And they were up last, last spring, whenever you could start hedging, right?
Yep. You know, the technology, you talk about auto steer. I don't even know where I'm at here. No, I'm not even lined up. We run auto steer when we're combining soybeans religiously, but with corn, not quite as much. All right, Doug, you're loaded. I'm not sure. I dumped on one last round. The technology in this little box here is just crazy. We're running automation right now. The sieves, the rotor speed, everything is controlled by the combine. I don't adjust the combine. It's got a camera inside looking at the sample. It's got so these numbers will change as we're going down the field, as I speed up, slow down, as the crop is better, as the crop is worse. They change and fluctuate.
So you've been farming since '59?
Yeah.
Seen any changes?
Yes, a lot of them. And most of them are good changes. See, when you get my age, you don't have to think. Everybody else does your thinking for you.
That sounds kind of handy, really.
Well, we've had a pretty good day so far. And the definition of a good day is if nobody gets hurt. Always,
That's priority number one.
yes, priority number one, and stay safe.
Yep.
This machinery, and we can replace that, but people are pretty hard to replace. When Chad was a senior in high school, I asked him what he was going to do, and he said, I think I'm just going to stay home and farm. And I said, well, you go look around. Probably someday we can make it work. So he went into the service. I got a letter from him. He said, I'm laying over here in the desert in a foxhole with a car hood over me. The bombs are dropping, earth is shaking. If I ever get out of here, I'm gonna come home and farm. I said, I can handle it. When he come back, we made it work.
After high school, I went in the service. I was gone for a few years in the service, and I came back and went and got a associate degree in ag business and ag production, minor in ag production. And my dad told me, he said, you know, if you want to come back and farm, we'll do what we can do to make room. But he said, it's a good place to raise a family. But he said, don't plan on making any money, because it's tough. And it just, don't think of it that way. You got to think about it that you love what you're doing. Well, we've been blessed. We've had a good run. We were able to buy some land when I started, and everyone knows what the land price has done. You know, I don't feel like I've made a lot of money farming, but I've made a lot of money on good decisions or lucky decisions, buying land, and my cow herd has treated me well, you know, so just no complaints. Perfect world, we'd run 2 grain carts and 2 combines in corn. This is the first year we've ran two corn. We've been running 2 soybeans, but I bought a new corn head last year, and we kept the old one, so now we're running 2 here, and it works. It's just a little bit, it's faster, but it's a little bit slower waiting here and there. But the soybeans on most of the corn stalks either are no-tilled or they're followed by we plant after a vertical till.
Okay.
So it's
that's just like the top inch or 2?
Top inch like and straight down.
Okay.
You know, vertical with a straight disc.
You're not turning it over,
right.
Moving it around like a traditional disc.
But I'd say we're half and half with that and no-till. And then this strip till, we were pretty big into it. I probably was doing it 15 years ago, and we got away from it a little bit, and just because of machinery costs and usage. And now last year we went back, over half our acres are strip till, and I think this year we're probably going to be 70-80% strip till again. The big deal is moisture savings. We're trying to get away from working it up and losing that moisture. Everybody's got a theory. Soil health is really big right now, and I have friends at Gettysburg that are 100% no-till for 30 years. And you know, how come you guys ain't no-tilling out there back east? And well, we do in places. If I was farming at Gettysburg, I'd be 100% no-till. you got to farm the land, in my opinion. There's a place for no-till. There's a place for minimum till. I just come back from Minnesota last week, and I saw some plows rolling, some rippers rolling. You get over in that heavy ground. Every conservation practice isn't for every person.
Yeah, it's a busy time of the year, but they say we might get a little rain tomorrow.
Yep.
And that's always good. I think I've been retired for probably 10 years from farming, so I'm kind of out of the game. But I'm lucky I got something to do. And then if they tell me to do something that I don't want to, I'm busy.
I'll call him a good friend that I have on South Dakota Soil Health. Actually was my soils teacher when I went to school at Lake Area Vocational School. And we butted heads going through school because it had to be this way, and this is the only way it was going to work. And he's on the Soil Health Board now, so I still get to talk with him, and we still butt heads once in a while about soil types and different things. And we have shirts. Our farm name is Cabin Still Cattle Company, and under our logo it says "My Farm, My Way."
Since I was born, I've always wanted to work and work and work. And a lot of the times I don't even see it as work. It's just, I have fun doing it.
It's just life.
Yep, pretty much. Yep. We went last night till 2 a.m. Just us three, because we could do it with just 3 guys, and they have a blast doing it too, which makes me happy. Like nights like tonight, it's just absolutely gorgeous out. We just about do as much as we can, especially if there's rain in the forecast for the weekend. I'd much rather be combining than this than combining when it's snowing and 10 degrees or something. We must be losing some. We just lost another one. Slide out a little bit, Doug. Slide out, slide out, slide out. This is 12 roll, 30. This is 30 feet. I know they make a 16. So these are 30-inch rows. I know they make a 16 row head for 30-inch rows. But, God, that's a lot of weight, too. These things are heavy. But they have to be for all this wear and tear that happens. This combine's brand new this year, and I still haven't put any grain on the roof. I plan to do that the whole year. It's the goal. Yeah, I was close. I've had it run off the side of the tank. I'm full down at the east end, Doug.
So all those guys get switched, but you and your dad just keep rolling.
Pretty much, yeah.
So do you feed these to finish now, or just background a while, or?
You know, over the last 15 years, we've fed them all the way. Last year, we had some feed issues and a good market, so we ended up backgrounding them and selling them. So these cattle have been weaned about a month. They're still on their starter grower ration. They get some chopped hay and silage, some distillers, and a little bit of corn to get them started, get their guts working. We'll be going to the next ration in probably another couple weeks here. We've been on the farm where the feedlot is. That's 4 generations there. My great-grandpa and grandma lived there when I was growing up. Nice big, but it wasn't quite big enough. And we had to bring everything into town, and bringing the machinery into town is kind of a pain. Currently, I'm the vice president of the South Dakota Soybean Association. We do the legislative side of the soybeans. So we do a little lobbying out at Pier. I'm going to Washington, D.C. next month with one of our sister organizations, Clean Fuels Alliance. So we work with biodiesel, renewable diesel, sustainable aviation fuel. The Soybean Association is made up mainly of farmers. So they understand when it's busy time and when it's not busy time.
Right.
And I don't know if it's so much this administration, but it's worldwide.
Yeah.
The green push is on. There's only so much cooking oil that they refine. There's only so much rendering that we can refine. I mean, they're refining everything they can to make this renewable. There's only so many fryers that get emptied out at McDonald's and get reused. So the next thing is soy, and that's it's going to be a big market. Behind us, James, you'll get a kick out of this. This is our calving pasture.
Well, that's handy.
Those 200 head of cows all
Yeah.
come to town here. So I can check cows out this window. Bo can check cows out of his window. It makes for a pretty lazy operation some days.
That's good.
And we're in the city limits, and you'd think we'd catch a little flack, but the only time we catch flack is when the cattle leave, because the
Really?
neighbors want to know where they're at. 'Cause
Really?
everybody drives by
Everybody's
to look at the
concerned.
calves. Yeah, looks like Mother Nature is going to give us till about noon.
Okay.
What are you thinking? You want to call Doug and Scott and have them down here at 9? We should be done.
Yep, that works.
I mean, you got enough fuel, you can go with your combine, and I'll fuel up and
Yep.
be behind you.
Yep, I'll be down at your house in a second. I'm trying to find a coat.
Yeah, we're just leaving the farm. We'll be there.
All right, sounds good.
Between the cow herd and the feedlot and the grain operation, there's years when the grain operation takes a pretty good hit and the cattle carry you through, and vice versa. We don't farm a lot of acres, but we farm enough acres that it seems like there's always some place where the crop isn't the best, but there's enough there to put up some feed and bring the cattle through, and we'll graze a half section at home and a half section by one of the pastures that we can get. The kicker is to have water available.
Water and
One-
fencing, right?
Yeah. So we got everything fenced that we can get to with water, and so yeah. We do a lot of cover crops. We actually have no cover crops this year for the first year in 20 years. And it'll also be about the first year in 20 years we haven't had small grain, which cover crops in our part of the country
or something, right?
comes after small grain, and the rotation just got a little messed up this year, and ended up with no small grain. So in turn, no cover crops. We started doing cover crops decades ago.
Really?
I mean, I bet you our first cover crops, radish and turnips, were 15 years ago, and the neighbors were driving around going, "What is that?" and it has become a big part of all the operations, all the cattle operations, try and utilize it because, you know, it's good for the ground, but in a cow-calf operation, it's not so much about the ground as it is about the feed and the aftermath grazing for the cattle.
Sure.
I mean, that is huge.
Talking to Bo last night in the combine, he was talking about, you know, work and calling this work, and he said it's not really work, it's just what we do, and it's life. And I think that's pretty cool, you know. And I think the service that you guys do, you know, all the different things you volunteer for is part of that too. So.
When we started, there was a point where it was about money. It was about getting the bills paid, getting the mortgage paid, going to the bank, borrowing the money. And I don't know where that switch is at, but sooner or later that switch hits and it's no longer about you, it's about the next generation. You're not as worried about you as you are worried about the next one. I know my mom and dad are still worried about this generation. They don't know if we're gonna make it or not, but I'm past that. I think we're gonna make it. Now I'm worried about their generation. So it's all stages, and we've been blessed, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever get away. He always told me that. He said, you can go make just as much money somewhere else, doing something else. Just too passionate for it.
Life has been pretty good to us. The toughest job you ever gonna have, raising a family. But it's the most rewarding job you'll ever have.